Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlim Lane, Accra, on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, just a touch. Coming up, Lego victim of a Yawaso West Wogon by-election violence badly damaged. Doctors are considering amputation. We have an exclusive interview with footballer Ishao Yaro. Also, family members have meanwhile rejected Yawaso West Wogon MP Lydia Al-Hassan's donation. We'll get to hear from them. Also, as hundreds throng the streets of Accra to demonstrate against Yawaso by-election violence, there are increasing calls for Minister of State in charge of National Security, Brian Champon, to step aside.
A sitting Minister of State for National Security has come to claim responsibility.
We think that the Minister of State in charge of National Security should step aside with good conscience. He should step aside.
Also, soldiers on Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining clash with counter group from Forestry Commission over reclamation project in Ashanti Region Forest. Will be joined live by our correspondent. Also, mounting calls on Maslock to urgently dispose of 350 vehicles that have been abandoned since 2016 to forestall further financial loss to the state. More on this as public criticism increase over wanton waste of state resources. We have sports.
Yes, where former President Kwesi Nyantakyi is alleging some persons within the Ghana Football Association paid $400,000 to Tiger IPI to set him up in the famous number 12 expose.
And on Tech Thursday today, I will tell you why Apple's AirPods are gaining popularity and how it can be used for live listening.
Very awesome feature that I like about the AirPod. It's called live listening. Now what this does is that you can leave your phone in any room, take your AirPods out and automatically.
We have all that and more coming up here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Details shortly. Now, one of the victims of the Yawaso West Wogon by-election violence could have his right leg amputated. Doctors at the 37 Military Hospital here in Accra have told him it is perhaps the single most viable option to keep him alive. Ishao Yaro, 37, was shot at close range. His right leg is badly damaged. He's currently on admission together with 6 others who were shot by gun-wielding men in masks, said to be national security operatives. My colleague Joseph Opoku Gakbo captures what we know in this report.
37-year-old Ishao Yaro's right leg is wrapped in huge white bandage. A straight, shiny metal has been fixed beside the leg to keep it straight because the close-range shot scattered the bone in the leg.
I'm screaming because the leg is paining me. Blood is coming before they put me inside the pickup. See, during that time, I'm screaming because the leg was like this, broke.
So it affected the bone?
Yes.
It affected the very bone?
Yeah, the bone broke.
The leg has been placed on 2 supporting pillows to keep it up. Blood and watery discharge from the leg have soaked the pillow and changed its white color to red. When he was brought in, doctors warned him one of the options to keep him alive would be to amputate his leg. He's already undergone 2 separate surgeries to help recover the leg. He's expected to undergo a 3rd today. Yaro was shot along with 6 others by suspected national security agents during the Yawaso West Wogon by-election.
We had aspirants before we saw them coming. They were khaki and black and some masks. They just asked us to leave. Then we said, why should I leave? Before we see they start giving money shots up to scare us. It's just that before we saw they start shooting straight, direct, direct.
The National Security Minister, Brian Champon, has admitted he sent the men after what he called undesirable circumstances. Yaro was in the house of the NDC parliamentary candidate when the security operatives moved in.
No. We don't have any house. You don't have any arms. If you have arms, they cannot fight us because we are many more than them. You don't have any arms.
Yaro is married with 3 children. He's a footballer. His family dreads the loss of a fully fit, active and supportive father, all because of politics. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, 37 Military Hospital.
Now, as you may be aware, the newly sworn-in Member of Parliament for the area, Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan, is reported to have donated 5,000 Ghana cedis to the victim when she visited them at the hospital yesterday. As she told my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson, she regrets the incident.
He is responding to treatment, and I regret the incident. I regret it, and I'm happy there's a committee in place to investigate. I urge the police to work hard and get to the bottom of this. They should work without fear and favor. This is a simple democratic exercise. We shouldn't have gone to this extent. I'm glad I made it. I have also deposited 5,000 to take care of his bills. I've left my number with the family members to contact me if there are any more expenses to be paid.
You heard the MP for Ayawaso West Wogon, Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan. Family members of Ishawo Yaro have meanwhile rejected that donation from the MP. Ibrahim Musa, a spokesperson for the family, and joins us on the line. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. First of all, in what way are you related to Ishawo Yaro?
Ishawo Yaro is a brother. He's a family member. We're all based in Fadama.
So we are told that the family is rejecting the 5,000 Ghana cedi donation by the MP. Why is that?
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and your listeners. I'm greeting everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, we haven't received any money from the madam. As she's speaking, that she has left her number to the family. Which, as a family, the woman, she haven't speak to any of the family. What we know about, she came there yesterday, greet our brother, and she left. After that, we saw in the news that she have deposited 5,000. To whom? Because yesterday around 4, we were given some prescription to buy drugs. So we went and buy the drugs. Then later, one officer walked to us and let us know that they have deposited 5,000 by the woman for some of the medical bills. And what we saw at the social media, she has gone to pay the medical bills. Meanwhile, there are responsible people behind the Yaro Shaku before she reached there yesterday. A lot has been done to Yaro Shaku before you were there. And saying that you have given your number and all those things to family, which of the family member did she spoke with?
Okay, so Musa, listening to Madam Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan, she stated that she had left the 5,000 Ghana cedi donation to the hospital authorities to offset the bills. Then she gave the number, her number, to the family members for any further bills that might be incurred. You're saying you're not aware of this donation?
Which of the family members? Because there are people behind it. People are paying the bills before she came.
Who are those? Who are those paying the bills? The family members? Who are those?
The party is paying the bills. You know, the former president has visited him. The minority leader have been there. Former President Rosen have been there. Former President John Mama. A lot of people are there paying the bills, but it's not news.
So in all, you've mentioned that
we are cash strapped, and you are coming to pay the bills for him, and you let the whole world as if we are owing the hospital, we can't afford to pay the bills. It's not fine.
But I'm not sure that the MP stated that the family is cash strapped and that's why she's paying. I'm sure that the other persons that visited also did not pay because you are cash strapped. Is that the case?
Madam, she said she has, according to her, we don't know anything about leaving money at the administrator. After we have buy a drug before, they are informing us that she left money. And she's saying, according to your news, she said she has left her number to a family member. We want to know that family member that she left her number for. Because as she came there, did she spoke to a family member? But we have to be sincere to ourselves. As she came there, did she speak to any family member there that she have given her number to? That if something we should call her.
So, as it stands now, the issue for you is that you are rejecting the money that she gave to the hospital authorities. Is that the case?
That thing with the family. Because people are paying the bills, that is no news. Why are we supposed to be a news?
Okay. Well, we are grateful for your time. But Isha, just before I let you off, let's just clarify. We are told that Ishao Yaro is a member of the Azoka Boys. Is that true?
He's a member of what?
The Azoka Boys. Is that the case?
Ishao Yaro is a police, a member of NDC party. He is a branch youth organizer at Okanku Central. Okay. Padama, Bemumo electoral area. Ishao is not part of Azoka Boys.
We're grateful for your time. That's Ibrahim Musa, spokesperson for Ishaho Yaro's family. They're saying that they are rejecting the donation by Lydia Sayam Al Hassan. We're told that there's some 5,000 Ghana cedi donation for his hospital bills, and we're told they are getting ready to amputate his leg because of the severity of the wounds. Hey, sounds of protesters, hundreds of whom have thronged the streets of Accra to join leaders of various opposition political parties as they demonstrate seeking justice for those injured in the violence and prosecution for the culprits. The opposition NDC, PNC, among others, are leading the protest march, which they say is only the start of a series of activities they intend to embark on to pile pressure on government. The demonstrators, clad in red, are demanding justice for the injured. Here's Chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona.
This is the beginning of a series of things that will happen, not only in Accra, but across the length and breadth of this country. We are moving to the Ministry of Interior, from where we will deliver one, we'll go to the Inspector General of Police and deliver one, and end up at the Presidency where we deliver one. There is an acting president in town. His Excellency, the Vice President, is in town. We expect him to come and receive our petition.
Now, General Secretary of the Opposition NDC, Johnson Asiedun Ketia, is meanwhile kicking against the establishment of the 3-member Commission of Inquiry to look into the violence. He has described it as a fake one. Listen.
They are doing everything possible within their power to make sure that nobody gets punished on account of the events at Ayawaso West Wogo. Part of the orchestration was the lie that was told by the police that those perpetrators were not known, they were not deployed by the Ghana Police Service. It turned out that they came there in police vehicles. And in fact, the driver of the police vehicle was a policeman, a sitting policeman. Nobody has told Ghanaians that a police SWAT team vehicle has been stolen, and for which reason the users will not be found. Now, luckily for us, a sitting Minister of State for National Security has come to claim responsibility for deploying those thugs to go and commit those atrocities. So what else do the police and the security services need to apprehend those people? Nothing. They are unable to do that. And now, the citizens of this country are demonstrating to impress upon the police that they should do their work, to impress upon the ministers of state that they should do their work, and to impress upon the sitting president Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia that they should do their work. They've done everything possible to sabotage this march. The police tried to detect our route. We refuse and indicated to them our constitutional powers. So when that failed, the last effort they made was to rush the announcement of a commission of inquiry last night. I'm sure you've heard our response. I want to repeat our response. That commission is a fake commission. Mark my words and watch my lips. It is a fake commission.
You heard that the General Secretary of the opposition NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, joining us is Nancy Emefadra Dosi, is marching with the protesters and joins us with an update. So Nancy, we know you've been to the Interior Ministry, the police headquarters. Where are you heading now?
So from the police headquarters, we are moving to the President's, the Jubilee House, at the moment where they are expecting that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will be accepting their petition.
So at these various stops, what happened there, Interior Ministry, police headquarters?
Right, so when we got to the Interior Ministry, it was the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, who received the petition, and he promised that the President was committed to making sure that the country was peaceful. But when we got to the police headquarters, we were also met by the IGP. Initially, when he came and he met the crowd were booing at him, saying, IGP must go. They were singing that anthem. And so he went back inside the building and came out later to receive the petition. All he could say was that they were going to work on it and they were going to respond to the petition as early as possible.
Well, so let's paint a picture about the numbers that turned out for this demonstration. Are you able to tell us in terms of figures and all?
So, I can say that, at least I can say that there were more than 100. After that, I can say, but I can't say any further. But we realized that as we kept on moving forward, the numbers were reducing. It looked like they were unable to, march from the Bradford straight to the Interior Ministry and then to the IGP's office. And so the numbers are gradually going down, because when we got to the market, Makola Market around that side, some of the market women joined the demonstration, but as we moved ahead, people were just going back. And the numbers are not as huge as they were when we got to Accra.
Okay, but in terms of security, what can we say about that?
So if you remember, initially, the police and this group, they had an argument about the routes to use. But this Kwesi assured us that they had spoken to them and they were going to ensure that it's going to be peace and nothing else was going to happen. And so far, everything has been fine.
Say that the regional police command is determined to ensure the free demonstration, and that we're going to police all the routes with zeal, and that it is our humble request to the demonstrators that they all live within the confines of the law. One, we have a dual responsibility here. We ourselves ensuring that we stick to lay down procedures in line with public order management, and also managing the crowd or the demonstrators. Thirdly, we also like to appeal to the leadership of the Interpart demonstration group to also police themselves and to control their members to ensure that together we succeed.
You heard the Superintendent of Police, Kwesi Fori. He's in charge of operations here at the Greater Accra region. We stay on this a while longer because civil society organization One Ghana Movement has joined calls for Minister of State in charge of national security, Brian Champong, to step aside as the commission begins its work. Emily Nyo is a member of One Ghana Movement.
We think that the Minister in charge of Minister of State in charge of national security, who has clearly stated that the apparatus or the group that committed this violent act was sent from his end, should step aside with good conscience. He should step aside, especially now that a commission of inquiry has been set up for them to be able to do their work without any abuse of power. All those who are at the helm of affairs, I believe they should all step aside while the commission does its work to ensure that the right things are done. The findings are able to come out before, if they are going to be reinstated, yes, but we need them to step aside. We want to understand why there were security lapses, and we need to be able to identify these. What were the security forces? What was their mandate?
You heard that Emily Nyo is a member of the One Ghana movement. Now, in a separate development, government is holding a national dialogue on political party vigilantism. Ernest Menu is there and joins us on the line. Ernest, there's been a lot of talk about vigilantism. What's new today?
Yes, so we're currently at the Pediatric Lodge. The government is holding a national security dialogue. We have top security officials here from the BNI, from the military. We have the Attorney General herself here, the Interior Ministry, and civil society as well. I've seen IBEC, Dr. Emmanuel Akwiti also here. So the Information Minister, Kojo Fonkum, will be briefing us very shortly to give us details about this. But essentially, this is to deal with vigilantism.
You heard there, my colleague Ernest Menu at that national dialogue on vigilantism. We'll get more in our subsequent bulletins. I will take a quick break at this point. When we return, Mountain calls on Maslock to urgently dispose of 350 vehicles that have been abandoned since 2016 to forestall further financial loss to the state. We have more on this as public criticisms increase over wanton waste of state resources. Also, we have Tech Thursday. Do stay. Let's do some sports now. And Redwan Ibrahim Asante has the very latest. Mr. Nyantic is in the news.
Yes, he's been talking for the first time since stepping down as president of the Ghana Football Association after he was captured on tape for allegedly collecting bribe in the Anas expose, which was aired last year. Nyantic was later charged with defrauding by false pretense after he was seen negotiating for an amount of money using the name of the president and his vice. The former CAF first vice president and also FIFA council member is contesting the charges, and in his latest twist, he's revealed that some persons within the Football Association paid Tiger IPI $400,000 to set him up.
And I said I didn't have the money, and that's why all this hula baloo came about.
$150,000
US dollars.
Wow.
They were even demanding $400,000 US dollars because project now or farming or no a sponsored project. And for no more GFA or more payment, they paid $400,000 for us to do that.
Wow.
Now, Sika or the man who Dubai, no. That money, he claims is $65,000. It has to be proven because I received $40,000.
You heard President Kwesi Nyantakyi fighting back. And the Kids Olympics is on. We've got a venue confirmed for Saturday's athletics. It's at the St. Anthony Anglican Church, adjacent Lincoln Community School, opposite former Kasapa office in Abilengbe. And you know what? You know the slogan for the Kids Olympics?
Not for me.
Don't take me serious. Boot for boot.
That's Redwan with the latest from the world of sports. Now, the Mountain calls on the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Maslock, to dispose of the 350 vehicles to save the nation further losses. Joy News investigation has reviewed the vehicles were overpriced by at least 18 million Ghana cedis. The GPRTU, which was supposed to take the vehicles, rejected them because of the prices. There are concerns that if urgent action is not taken on the vehicles, they may end up like the 86 gallopers that have been abandoned for close to 20 years now. Manasseh Azoria Winnie reports.
Some of the 100 buses and 250 saloon cars have GPRTU inscribed on them, but the transport union says it will not take the vehicles at the current prices. Kwame Kuma is the national chairman of the GPRTU.
We insisted that Maslock allow Toyota and Nissan to supply half of the vehicles, but our proposals were turned down. When they brought the vehicles, the prices were on the high side, and it made it difficult for us to accept it. We want government to reduce the prices so we could purchase the vehicles.
Each of the 100 buses, for instance, cost $28,000 US, more than the showroom price of the same buses from the same supplier, Mack Ghana Limited. After being left in the sun since 2016, the value has further gone down, making it impossible to sell them at the same price to the buyers. A senior partner at the AB and David law firm, David Ofosudote, says mistakes of the past should not be repeated in the case of the Maslock vehicles.
It's even when this happens, at times we use them as a basis to say, park them whilst we investigate. That only makes the problem worse. It doesn't really solve the problem. You can investigate whilst the buses are being used. But we've done that even to aircraft. There have been situations in this country where we have parked Ghana Airways aircraft and investigated whilst the aircraft is parked. And anybody who understands the airline industry will tell you that each block hour that you have parked that vehicle, you are paying a lot of money. We've parked that aircraft. Aircraft are meant to be in the air, not on the ground. But we did that in this country.
A procurement specialist, Kobina Atabedu, has some suggestions on what could be done with the vehicles.
Whether we like it or not, we've lost money in the millions of dollars. What do we do with it? We can put a bell on it and decide that auction, everybody come and take and give me a price. You won't get much value from that. So I think it will be better that we find government agencies and departments and staff who need vehicles anyway. I have a special school for the deaf at Ashaman. If they get a bus and a saloon car, it will be good for the school. They should go and give them some. It will be a much better use of that money than to try and sell them off.
The current CEO of Maslock, Stephen Amwa, says Maslock has appealed to higher authorities for a reduction in the prices of the vehicles. It is not clear when a decision on the buses will be arrived at, but the urgency of the decision is key because 350 vehicles bought and paid for with the taxpayers' money cannot be left to deteriorate further. For Joy News, Manasseh Azore Arena reporting.
Now let's head to the Ashanti region because the Forestry Commission guards there have destroyed a shelter built by the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. My colleague Erastus Asari Donko witnessed the exchanges, joins us with the very latest on that. So what led to this incident?
Well, it follows our report we did from the Cobra Forest, where the forest has been destroyed by some illegal miners. Now the Interministerial Task Force has given a contract to a company to reclaim the land, and they have started putting up some temporary structures. But this morning, the Forestry Commission came in with a number of military police to destroy the settlement. They say they are not aware of any order for them to reclaim the land, and they won't agree to any such settlement. So they've destroyed the equipment. Not even explanation from the task force will even appeal to the military men who came, who say they are acting on instructions from above. My camera was taken from me. The military police people asked me to delete all the pictures I have on it, but they came with media men and they asked them to film. If you have time, I have the leader of the Interministerial Task Force for this operation here, Francis Asidi. Tell me, what are we seeing? Is it a clash between two agencies working for the government?
I think there is some kind of misinformation, or there is a problem with the information passage system. This morning, what has happened, I would not say it is a clash, but I would say that it is something that will finally end up in the form of a dialogue. Because we, the Interministerial Committee, were given the mandate to supervise and evaluate and assist this very contractor over there to settle down and then do that job there. But unfortunately, this has happened. Even though we had had the Forestry Commission visit the site and put in the picture that these were the activities that we were involved in.
You heard that the leader of the task force. Unfortunately, we are out of time, so we have to leave it there. But after 2 years of their release, Apple's AirPods have suddenly resurfaced and are gaining popularity. These earphones solve the problem of tangled wires by removing them completely. But apart from helping you enjoy your favorite music, what else can you apply your AirPods to? Selina Mampo has more.
They can intelligently connect to your devices while delivering incredible sound for up to 5 hours on a single charge. With a Bluetooth connection strong within 45 to 50 feet, the AirPods can sense when they're in your ear and automatically stop playing when removed.
Now, the moment I put these in my ear, it automatically connects to the phone. And this case in which you keep them, it charges it.
You now know the use of your earpods, but we'll give you the full report in our subsequent bulletins. But let's check out what you're talking about on social media.
Well, MFA Kwesi Nyantakyi is trending on Twitter, and Note Obed says, so did Mr. Nyantakyi deny taking the bribe? Ken wants the queen and he's sacrificing you in this chess game. Checkmate around the corner. Kwesi, my namesake, be the lawyer that you are. So Kwesi Nyantakyi, and this is from Washe Ambassador, he's asking, so Kwesi Nyantakyi was speaking for the first time today on Oman FM, and Ken too is cursing Anas. Well, Drete says, so Kwesi Nyantakyi is trying to say what? So why was he mentioning Nanado and Baumia? Okay. And finally, this one is from Samuel Apia. He says, after listening to Kwesi Nyantakyi this morning, you can conclude that they have planned to ruin the reputation of Anas and his global team. The interview did not do him any good.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. I am MFA Apau. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.